Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode we are talking about a running back by the name of Miles Sanders out of Penn State in terms of his analytics profile. Special thanks goes to Tony Turley, a Patreon subscriber that suggested this video today. And let's get to the video. So first off, Miles Sanders hit a 61.13 market share production score. That score doesn't really hit the All-Pro threshold or the 5-time Pro Bowl threshold, but does hit at least the 3-time Pro Bowl threshold at the position. When you look at the averages at the position, he doesn't quite hit above the All-Pro average, the Pro Bowl average, or the starter average. So that's the only real concern with Miles Sanders, is that his production is above average, but it's not above what the averages are for an All-Pro, a Pro Bowl, or a starter at the position. When you look at his athleticism traits, he does have solid athleticism. He had about a 69.39 explosion score, a 70.24 speed score, and a 81 plus flexibility score. He hits at least one multiple All-Pro / Pro Bowl athleticism trait, because all multiple All-Pro / Pro Bowl running backs had at least 179 or higher trait. So Sanders does have Pro Bowl athleticism in terms of his flexibility for his size. When you're looking for sort of a production comp, now keep in mind that Arian Foster is a major outlier. This is basically a UDFA running back that had below average athleticism that ended up becoming a multiple Pro Bowl running back. But Foster does have very similar production to Miles Sanders. And of course, Miles Sanders has better athleticism. So if you're looking for sort of a positive here when it comes to Miles Sanders, I would say the production is not great, but there definitely are some players here and there that make it possible for Sanders to be a successful player. He's still less likely to become very successful, but he definitely has a couple players to point to. Like, if you believe in Miles Sanders, there are some players to point to that he could be successful despite having not the best production. And when you're looking for an athleticism comparison, the best sort of player I could find really was Vic Ballard. Ballard, in terms of Ballard's explosion and his speed score, pretty similar. Not the best straight comparison ever, but definitely similar when it comes to Vic Ballard, because Ballard is someone who has, above average explosion, above average speed, and then has that Pro Bowl athleticism trait of flexibility. There are a couple other players. Duke Johnson is probably another player to point to. Johnson was less explosive compared to Sanders, but Duke Johnson is another player that I think definitely compares favorably to Sanders. The only other issue with Sanders is in terms of his arm length. He doesn't have 32-inch arm length. And I know it's weird to talk about arm length at the running back position, and it's something that people always criticize me about, but if you actually look at the data, the vast majority, 90+% of all starting running backs since 1999 had at least 32-inch arm length or more. And Sanders hits below that threshold. And the only running backs who became long-term starters, or above average starters for that matter, with less than 32-inch arm length was Chris Johnson from everybody knows him, from the Tennessee Titans, CJ2K, and of course CJ Spiller. What do all those running backs have in common? They were very fast running backs. And also Devontae Freeman, you can throw him in as well. So there's really just a handful of backs who had below 32-inch arm length to go on and become very successful players. So Sanders fits into that Duke Johnson category to me. I think he has a chance to be a Duke Johnson-like running back. I think that's the only difference, of course, is Duke Johnson was a much more productive back at Miami. But I think if you're looking at Miles Sanders, I think the best sort of scenario for him, if you really believe in him, is that he has a Duke Johnson-like impact at the NFL level. And of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Gymmetrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know. Hit that notification bell in case you want to be reminded when another video of mine drops. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.